There we diddly go. Ladies and gerbils, it's preparing still to start live streaming. So there we go. Welcome to the show. Thanks very much. Go for it, D. Do that thing, please.
What's going on, everybody? This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You have to be 21 and over to be here. That's 21 in El Francais, Francophone.
El
If
Francais.
not, you have to leave. Back to you, Fumador.
Donde es el francés? Ladies and gentlemen,
Oui, oui,
welcome to the show.
monsieur.
Thank you very much for joining us. I'm also laughing to myself because I called what, like a helpline or something yesterday, and oh, my camera's off. That's the where's my fucking camera? Oh, there it is. Um, So I called a helpline, and there was like the English message, and the person clearly read off a Spanish message without really knowing any Spanish at all. So they're like, "Te quiere escuchar." It's so fucking
I'm.
good.
I find that a lot with your guys' banks too, like Chase Bank and
Yeah.
other American ones. They say for English press one, for Spanish, Espanol press two. I'm like, what? And it's weird because
Oh,
it's
not
not
even
your
that.
thing.
Just the way the person read it out, just absolutely phonetically, like they've never encountered Spanish before in their entire life. It was kind of comical and amusing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for joining us in these baffling times. Let me pop out the chat. Cheers, Miss Chronic. Good to see you. Join me, folks, in switching to live chat so we have a little bit better chatting experience, which I just did. Bud Kilowatt has already given us the green light, so we can go ahead. It's always good when he does that. So congratulations to all of us, ladies and gentlemen. We got the green light. Folks, please do say hello in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to chit chat with you a little bit in the chat. That's basically the easiest place. Cheers, Crimemore. The easiest place for us to get to know you in some way. Obviously, you don't have to say anything if you really don't want to, but we'd love to get in touch with you. We are not in touch. We'd love to get to know you. Basically, we'd love to get to know your garden and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we'd love to reach out and touch you. But fuck am I trying to say? Yeah, tell us about your garden, tell us about yourself, or even just say hello. That's fine too, honestly. But we'd love to hear from you. Cheers, love for the plant already hanging with us. Ladies and gerbils, feel free to say something in the chat. We're a pretty friendly bunch. You're not going to get talked down to or attacked or whatever else. You know what I mean? So, folks, hopefully understand that. And then if you'd like to hop on the panel, we would love to chat with you because this show is really basically meant to be kind of a check-in in the middle of the day where we kind of shoot the shit for a little bit about weed and stories of the day and perhaps stuff that's come up, or I don't know, maybe you're in the middle of washing some hash, you'd love to talk about it, that kind of stuff. Although that's never actually happened, but that's always been my dream that somebody's like, oh shit, I'm in the middle of washing a couple of bags of hash. And let me show you how it's done or something, right? But ladies and gentlemen, whatever your situation is, basically right now, hop in, say hello. The rules are simple to join the panel. Honestly, you only simply have to ask nicely in the chat, just politely. You don't need to grovel or something. Just hey, D or whoever's the blue name in the chat. Hey, could I get a link for the show? And we'd be happy to provide you one. As for the rules, he's about to, he's got a trigger
I'm
on the
not
finger.
trying.
He's getting ready to basically show that we allow no dicks, ladies and gentlemen. We don't want to see any dicks. We don't want to have any dicks. We don't want to have any lunatics. We don't have any of that shit. So no dicks, no showing of your dicks. And I got that completely wrong. But anyway, no showing of your dick, no being a dick, and no lunaticking, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully that's clear. It's a very simple commandment. You don't even have a second commandment to remember, or a third commandment, or a fourth commandment. How many fucking commandments are there that you have to remember normally? This one commandment, no fucking wiener. It's kind of like a wiener, right? Like a monolith, no goddamn wieners. If you see a wiener and you're like, oh shit, I wonder if they want that. Nope, no, I don't want that wiener. Just not interested. Ladies and gentlemen, go start a paid channel somewhere. Go make $10 million off your amazing, spectacular wiener. We just don't need it right here. We're wiener Philistines is what we are. It's lost on us, honestly.
Wiener free.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Exactly. We just can't appreciate the wiener. That's it. That's all it is. What do you got there?
I am showing off my brand new shirt that I got of the Conservative Party of Canada.
Oh, okay.
It's
All right.
Pierre Poilievre eating an apple, and it says underneath, "How do you like them apples?" I love this shirt. Anyways,
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please remember that the political views of folks on this channel are their own.
Yeah.
So don't forget that you are able to say what you want, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I believe in it or that you believe in it or something else. So just because I say something doesn't mean that other people believe in it. So please do remember, ladies and gentlemen. As for the rest of it, folks, do hop on. If nobody hops on in 15, 20 minutes or something, I'm gonna go do other shit, honestly. And we will stop recording because what's the point of just basically recording D and I just bullshitting with each other? But folks, if you'd like to hop on and join the conversation, we've had some great conversations in the last few weeks. Very interested in seeing you. In fact, I am actually busy. So if nobody hops on, I'm going to give it literally 5 or 10 minutes and then we're gone. I'm tired of this milking
Oh,
your bullshit. Honestly, it's demoralizing to me.
I gotta get to
Uh,
bets after, anyways.
what's that, D? Oh, you got to get
I
to
got
the
a
vets
bet
anyway. So
appointment
yeah,
after.
we're going to cut this in about fucking 5 minutes if nobody hops on. What's new with you, D?
Just hanging out, just chilling. I was watching
Right.
Pierogi
Don't take
before the
anything from
show.
me.
I was watching him sign his hat, so hopefully I'm going to be getting a signed Scammer Payback hat soon in the mail. One
I'll be
minute.
right back.
Okay. Oh, okay. um, Hope everyone's having a great day. Cheers, everybody. What's everyone smoking on in the chat? I'm gonna roll up some Super Pink Kush. I got various other stuff, and I got some hash. I got more than this, but this is what I have left of this that gram. It's cold here. I showed you guys my shirt, and I had to bundle up again because I'm frozen. I'm gonna put my whale suit on in a minute. My blue one, the blue hoodie thingy on. Cheers, everybody in chat. Miss Chronic in the chat. First in the chat. Buddy Kilowatt. Crymore Grows. Love for the plant. Rory Gardner. What's going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a great afternoon. Like I said, I gotta head over to the vet shortly with Mrs. D. Just gonna get nothing too major. Just gotta get a wellness checkup on Lightning this month. I want to see how she's doing since her operation she had a while ago, just to make sure she's okay. And then next month, we're gonna take Mr. Moo in and get a wellness check. And I want to get a check on him and her because I think they're eating too much. Like he has gained a lot of weight. So he's yes, it is. Is it nipply out, Miss Chronic? Nice, honey. So yeah, I just want to get a wellness check on them and make sure they're doing okay. Gotta keep the kitties happy. I think they're over.
Chronic says
I
it's
think
nippy
Moo's
out.
overweight. Oh, what was
Windy. I guess it's not windy right now, but earlier I got a stand of trees basically, not right in front of my house. That would be amazing, but I can see the stand of trees right in front of my house. And a couple hours ago, I was outside smoking, and the trees were just going. It was crazy, and there was a super amount of noise too. I was like, "What is this? A freaking hurricane?" But it was really noisy. I was like, "What is this? A freaking a train going through the trees?" And it was just literally the wind resistance, I guess. And it was weird too because they were literally swinging back and forth, so it was an absolute like unhinged wind. Anyway, they're calm now, but that was super fucking weird.
that's
It's
crazy.
been cold as shit lately. Oh my goodness.
Oh, some good news for all you Ontarios out here. If anyone else in chat is from Ontario, Wyerton Willie said we're gonna have an early spring this year.
Oh, that's good.
Yay! Fuck you, Winter.
Winter's like, what the fuck? I didn't do anything.
Oh,
Winter's all got
yeah.
got his feelings hurt now. Shit. Poor
What
Winter.
hurt?
That's right.
What's everybody smoking on chat?
Probably
What do you?
nothing. If they're not hopping on, they're probably just all squares. They're probably all just I don't know, eating potato chips in the back of a police car or something.
Awareness.
Give it a couple more minutes. Maybe I'll roll this joint, and if it's
Yeah, I'm gonna.
just us, maybe else. I'll stop recording.
Yeah, I'm on. Bubba Crush. Nice, Miss Chronic.
Oh, that's a good one.
Bubba Kush is a good one. Yeah, I like Bubba Kush. Classic. Smoking your mama. Oh yeah, martial artist. That's nice. Very nice.
You know, it's always good to have feel good family. What am I trying to say? I was trying to make like a Disney joke, but it didn't quite come out. Organic Soul Gardens is saying, how's the tester program rolling out? Good question. Organic Soul Gardens, good to see you, buddy. It was about to go out, and then oh my god, whatever. I don't want to get into it. It's too many fucking disasters. Uh, I'm tired of making excuses, you know. So I'm just like, man, until life stabilizes a bit, I didn't feel like it was worth it. And in a very reasonable sense, I was like, I don't know if it's actually worth it to test that stuff, to be perfectly frank with you. Uh, Not because of the genetic. I guess I'm probably shooting myself in the foot when I'm saying this kind of stuff. But I don't know, whatever. It's just been one disaster after another. Bear with me, Organic Soul Gardens. If nothing else, I'll just send some fucking seeds out, to be frank. Um, Whatever. Some shit happened the other day and just trying to figure out the future of my life. Uh, have you ever, I don't know, you probably haven't because I think this only happens to me. Have you ever basically found yourself literally almost every single day of your life at a new crossroads? You're just like, could I fucking get a straight road for once? No, it has to be. Will you go this way or will you go that way?
Yeah, man.
Just go straight. I'll even go in reverse for a little bit if you want me to. I know how to look behind me or drive in the mirror. I'm stretching this metaphor about as thin as it can go.
Anorexic.
That's right. That's right. I'm stretching the metaphor so thin it's anorexic now. Work. Bear with me, Organic Soul Gardens. You don't have to, obviously, but I would appreciate it if you do. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to roll up, or I am rolling up. I'm in the process of rolling up some Sour Morgana.
Oh, nice.
Something that I quite enjoy. The moment I have Sour Morgana 3 and 4. Oh, there's North Star. Maybe
All right, on.
After all. Maybe I stick it out for a little bit. I've got basically, I don't know why I always keep like oh, those are the 40 things. I always keep like two numbers in a row. Somehow I always like number 5 and 6. I had Platinum Yeti 5 and 6. I had Kaffir Lime 5 and 6. I want to say I had all these, like they're all like next to each other. It's kind of funny. The plants that I love somehow grow right next to each other. Welcome, North Star. What's going on?
Not too much. A little chilly this morning. Had a
Really?
lot of all kinds of freaking rain. Yeah, I had a house fell into the river about a mile from my house yesterday from all the rain. We had a landslide and stuff. And
Oh,
shit.
I thought we were actually going to lose the road up the hill to my house. It was bad. It was running down the road really bad. All kinds of rocks all over the road. The water was just straight up orange running down my road everywhere.
oh,
Wow.
man.
Yeah, we've gotten about 11 inches of rain since Friday so far.
Did you say 11 inches of rain since Friday?
Yeah,
That's
well, actually,
like
it's
torrential.
nice today. It's sunny today, so we're getting a nice break today. We're going to get probably another inch and a half or so tomorrow, but that'll be it for a bit.
So you got an average of like 2.5 inches of rain per day over the last 5 days. That's lunacy. That's like heavy, heavy rain. When it rains an inch in Oregon, that's a heavy day of rain, honestly. And like 2 inches, fuck right off. That is a heavy day of rain. There's trees falling down here in Oregon where it rains all the time. So 2 inches in a place like California where it's basically almost the entire state is a desert. It's been in a 1,000-year drought for 500 years now, on and on and on. The ground is not meant for 2 inches of rain. That's ludicrous.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a bunch of there's trees down all over the place right now.
Wow.
When I just finished the joint and then the crutch.
This is at the bottom of my hill.
Oh man, no wonder you were thinking it was going to knock out. Yikes! Are they going to come and replace that concrete? Do you think, or is it just going to get worse and worse?
I don't know. They're definitely not going to get to it before we have, the storm.
Yikes.
And here's higher up on the hill. I mean, coming down, started coming down the side of the road. There was a log on this side over here that was No, over in this side of it, there was a log over there. It was jammed up where the water come down. It crossed over the road and just. I mean, and the whole way down, it's just it's rocks are crumbling everywhere. It's just. Yeah, I was like, oh shit! I was going to pick up my daughter from school. I'm like, Christ, I hope I can get back up the hill.
I know you're gonna have to take a helicopter back or something.
Yeah.
What do
Their
you
schools
do?
are canceled today.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
What do you guys do if you? Because I know a lot of you guys. Well, all over the country, people live in back roads and stuff. But I know a lot of the kind of neighborhoods around Santa Rosa live on those long driveways and stuff. What do you guys do if the road gets knocked out? Do you just get stuck for a couple of weeks until someone digs you out, or what's the plan?
Well, everyone up here. I mean, people up here. We all have. I mean, chainsaws and farm jacks and wenches and stuff like that. So. Yeah, or that basically we had a tree. We had a tree came down about 3 or 4 weeks ago that crossed the road, and it was cut. But one of the logs was left on the side of the road that basically blocked the big channel where all the water runs down. So the water was getting backed up right there, and then coming over the road, and then washing back across the road again, which was causing all kinds of debris and washing shit out. So even before the rain stopped yesterday, see people were already over there cutting that log out. After I came back up the hill, somebody else must have seen it, and somebody was already there starting to cut it away. So that problem's a bit alleviated now, but there's still, I mean, at the bottom of the hill, it always overflows. It always overtakes the drainage at the bottom of the hill. All the water comes down, it meets down there, and it always ends up washing over the road. Every year we end up having the bottom of the road washed out to some degree. So.
Turns out reincarnation is real, and one of your neighbors used to be a woodpecker. As soon as the rains come down, I gotta chop down a tree.
It's always something. I mean, we pretty much take care of it. And in a matter of fact, the top of the hill where I'm at, it's like a big loop around the top of the hill here. The whole area where I'm at is actually all privately owned. So we don't get any county assistance or anything. We pay for road maintenance every year, like a road fund. We all pitch in like an unofficial homeowners association kind of thing. We all just pitch in every year, a couple $100. We have the roads taken care of.
How many people are on that kind of group?
About 30 of us on there.
Oh, wow.
Huh. I mean, I own about a third of the road myself, so thankfully it works that way. Otherwise, I'd be paying for a lot of it myself.
I guess I grew up on something kind of like that. It was a lot less formally arranged. Basically, one of our neighbors ran a logging company, and he had heavy equipment, bulldozers and stuff that he could basically use, right? And if worse came to worse, he could literally roll a log, like a heavy fresh cut log. They're fucking heavy as shit because they're full of water and stuff, right? People don't realize how heavy logs are, especially before they're dry, right? They're crazy dense. He could literally just roll it behind him on a truck. Basically, he had some kind of a roller contraption. Anyway, long story short, we had a long driveway that had probably, I never really counted, to be honest, at least 15, 20 houses, I guess, all the way up the driveway, up the hill, basically. And from time to time, we would all just kind of, whatever this guy would ask us, he was always honest. He'd be like, oh, I went to the gravel place and I got some gravel and spread it out for everybody. And everyone would throw in a couple of $300 or something, whatever. Until one neighbor one day decided to get a cheap deal. Some pit mining company was trying to get rid of a bunch of rock that turned out to be heavily radioactive, and he was like, oh, we'll take that. And they were like, oh, sure, we'll come and spread it right away. And so literally before he could say no, they basically came along and spread this fucking radioactive rock all up and down the hill. And the worst part is that it was like jagged sharp. So every couple of months you'd get a flat tire. It was just, and there was no way to get rid of it, basically. And the worst part is that the rock, they told us, I can't remember who we got. I think we got that neighbor that used to actually properly take care of it. He called one of his buddies. And they were like, you just need to let this rock settle into the ground. Because otherwise, if we put stuff on top of it, somehow the sharp rock will just float to the surface. So we literally had to wait and have flat tires for I don't know how many years. And people said, like, don't walk on the gravel because it's radioactive enough that, like, you might have problems from it. So people couldn't walk their dogs anymore and shit.
Oh, man.
That's when you have a neighbor who's like, I'll save $15 this year. Fucker.
Well, at least the road glow in the dark at night, so you can see the way.
We can see your road from space.
You got a pretty mouth, boy.
Spectacular neighbors and some pretty shitty neighbors. That was pretty funny now that I think about it. What else is new, gentlemen? Just before the show. Go ahead.
Not a whole lot, I guess. I mean, we're February now. I mean, shit, whole month down already. Fucking crazy.
Isn't that crazy? January is
my youngest daughter just turned 17.
Oh, wow. Huh. Did you say your youngest or oldest?
My youngest.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
We just went and picked up our first car this weekend. So, yeah, now I'm feeling really old. I'm like, damn, I aged another 10 years this weekend.
Yeah, I can imagine. Here's the story.
Got a lot going on.
Yeah, right. I just saw this right before the show. Folks, hop on. We're hoping to have a vigorous discussion here. I bet you that North Star has stuff to do. D and I certainly have stuff to do. So if you guys don't hop on here in a little bit, we'll just do a short. We'll finish the joint, do a short little catch up, and then biggity bounce.
Indeed. I've been tasked with installing a car stereo in this new car because.
Oh, have you?
We got a really good deal. It's a 2003 Civic Hybrid with only 57,000 miles on it and full records. One owner took it to the shop every 6 months.
2003, and it's a 57,000 miles.
One owner, 57,000 miles, and the person took it every 6 months. I have records, pages of it, printed out to the dealership to get it serviced.
Right on.
And they didn't drive it at all.
Right.
Did they just drive it to church? That's a killer
car. It's going to last you a long time.
I mean, seriously, did they drive that car on a Sunday to brunch or what? Like, because
that's what I told him. I said, it sounds to me like a little old lady that drove to the bingo hall, maybe got some groceries to the doctor, and then back home. That was the weekly excursion. That was it.
I guess the downside is it's probably all stop and go miles. So you could say like, oh, it's probably rough miles, but I mean, 57,000 miles. Come on, that's amazing.
The guy told it works out to like 2,600 miles a year or something.
Yeah, that's incredible. And it literally to the grocery store or something.
Now we ended up driving like almost 2 hours to go pick it up because I couldn't find a car that good of a deal anywhere close to me. So, but now of course it's got like the antiquated, the CD player and it. She likes the CDs, but she's like, I'd like to have a backup camera so I can see the back, and there's no USB port for her to plug her phone into kind of deal. So I'm like, all right. So she found something. Her sister bought her a little stereo off of Amazon that I'm going to be installing.
So you're not installing like a subwoofer or nothing?
Nah, just a big touchscreen head unit thing to put in there.
Yeah.
Good to see, by the way, Organic Soul Gardens. He's stopping by, or it might already be gone, to be honest. But I was basically saying, cheers, buddy. Good to see you. He's saying hopefully to stop by more in 2025. I'm hopefully going to do a lot more in 2025. Hopefully when life stabilizes a little bit. It was a little hectic the last few days. So hopefully it's going to stabilize and be a little bit easier to deal with. Ladies and gentlemen, I saw this cool story before the show, literally before the show. I think I was just getting ready, basically kind of setting up my microphones and stuff. And this was a story. Oh, it's actually from 2021. But we often talk about this kind of stuff, and it's worth repeating from time to time because I think people haven't really internalized how communicative a lot of plants are. So this is from NPR. This was a story that was heard on NPR, or on Fresh Air rather, with Dave Davies. So I'm sure the audio story is probably better, but we'll basically just get a little bit of the synopsis here. I'm not going to read the entire fucking story, but I'll read a little bit of it. So trees are social creatures that communicate with each other in cooperative ways that hold lessons for humans too. Ecologist Susan Simard says. That's her right there. She kind of looks like Suzanne Summers a little bit. Simard grew up in Canadian forest as a descendant of loggers before becoming a forestry ecologist. She's now a professor of forest ecology at the University of British Columbia. Trees are linked to neighboring trees by an underground network of fungi that resembles the neural networks in the brain, she explains. In one study, Simard watched as a Douglas fir that had been injured by insects appeared to send chemical warning signals to a ponderosa pine growing nearby. The pine tree then produced defense enzymes to protect against the insect. This was a breakthrough, she says. The trees were sharing information that actually is important to the health of the whole forest. In addition to warning each other of the danger, Simard says the trees have been known to share nutrients at critical times to keep each other healthy. She says the trees in a forest are often linked to each other via an older tree she calls a mother or hub tree. In connecting with all the trees of different ages, the mother trees can actually facilitate the growth of these understory seedlings, she says. The seedlings will link into the network of the old trees and benefit from that huge uptake resource capacity. And the old trees would also pass a little bit of carbon and nutrients and water to the little seedlings at crucial times in their lives that actually help them survive. The study of trees took on a new resonance for Simard when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. During the course of her treatment, she learned that one of the chemotherapy medicines that she relied on was actually derived from a substance some trees make for their own mutual defense. She explains her research on cooperation and symbiosis in the forest and shares her personal story in the new memoir, Finding the Mother Tree, Discovering the Wisdom of the Forest. Where was the... Dang it. This is showing a different part of the story. Let me see if I can find the part of the story that I was reading earlier. She was talking about... Well, I can summarize it, to be honest. She was talking about how loggers and BLM management people, basically almost 100 years ago, had been cutting down birch trees because they assumed the birches were basically weeds, essentially, and they were getting in the way of the cash crop, ponderosa pines and a few other trees. And the thing is, when they chopped down these birches, the pines immediately, almost immediately, like a wildfire blew through the forest, would die from a particular fungus. And she basically started to realize, oh, there's a particularly mutualistic relationship here. And so, sure enough, she basically did some research, and the mycorrhiza that basically link up with the birch and the Douglas firs in this case share nutrients, share carbon, water, micronutrients. What else? They share communicative messages through those enzymes, and the birch clearly passes on some kind of a resistance to that fungus, to the ponderosa pines, to the point that as soon as the birch is gone, the ponderosa pines die. And here was the interesting thing that she was talking about. She force-fed the ponderosa pines and birches in a particular little network, or maybe she planted some new ones. I can't remember exactly. How do I put it? She planted... yeah, I should honestly read the story, but whatever. She had pines and birches, and she passed some kind of an isotope basically to they uptook this isotope, but they were in the presence of seed. So that's what she did. I think she had triplets of trees that she planted together. Ponderosa pines, birches, and cedars. And the ponderosa pines and birches passed this isotope back and forth with each other because they were tapped into the network with each other through the mycorrhiza. But the cedar didn't uptake any of this isotope because it's on a different mycorrhiza. I think cedars are on ectomycorrhiza instead of endomycorrhiza. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, long story short, the cedar was literally tapped into a different internet, so to speak, and it could not communicate, basically. Sometimes people hypothesize, oh, if there's aliens out in space, why can't we hear them? And one of the most logical answers might be that we're not tapped into their fucking network, right? So how lonely is that fucking cedar, like a babe in the woods, right? But meanwhile, the birch and the ponderosa pine are sharing information about potential predators, pathogens, you name it. Good to remember how enmeshed our ecosystems can be. Folks, we're going to give it a little bit longer on this show. I definitely have some stuff to do. It's always a funner conversation when we have 4, 5, 6 people on the show. So if nobody hops on here, I think we're going to probably cut a little bit early today. But we'll see here. North Star, what's new with you? The garden's probably getting better. You said
I just planted some moms this week for putting in the garden, putting in the greenhouses this summer, some stuff to clone out. Not going to grow quite as much as I did last year. I think I'm actually probably going to do one of the greenhouse runs. I'm going to do probably a whole run from seed, a bunch of stuff, just to
nice.
Do a nice, fun start from seed, something different. Everything last year was all greenhouses full of clones. I ended up growing more last year than I did the previous year because I ended up running out of bud early in the year, and I had friends like, I'm like, I have nothing for you. I'm sorry. I was like, before I even had greenhouses set up. So I'm like, I'll grow some more this year. Or now I got plenty of bud, but same time, it's like I get bored of having the same bud that's in there from the fall. So I already had an indoor harvest. I'm like, all right, now I'm already smoking through this. Like, now what do I want to grow next? I'm already, I'm going to load the greenhouses up. But at the same time, it's some of the same stuff I put in there last year. So I'm like, all right, I already have some of that. So that's not a really big motivator for getting me going. So I think I'm going to have to do at some point another seed run just to have the variety because I've been paring stuff down. So I'll probably do a bunch of newer stuff that I have and not even bother keeping clones or anything. Just to run just just see what everything comes out as, just for fun, to see differences, compare stuff, and then have a nice big variety of head stash. I figure I can easily fit in one of my smaller greenhouses here, like maybe 25-gallon pots. So I could do 4 or 5 strains and do multiples of each, throw them in there, and get a nice little variety of some stuff.
That's something that people don't seem to do enough of. At least I don't see enough of it. Is multiple plantings basically in those big pots, right? Like you wouldn't plant 5 plants in a 5-gallon pot probably, right? But you could plant easily 4 or 5 plants in that 25, 30-gallon pot, and they'll actually do fine. They won't really compete with each other. People always assume that they compete for nutrients. They compete for light, basically, right? But they don't really compete for nutrients in the soil. It doesn't really work that way.
Unless you have, I'd say the only issue there you'd have if you have a lot of phenotypical difference, where you have some that are really big. Like if I have some of my Colombian crosses, I might have, as I say, I do like a Colombian LA Confidential cross. Depending on what spectrum that's leaning, I could have in the same pot one that's easily twice the size of the other one,
and that becomes really difficult.
Then it's hard, and you're trying to angle to the sun and stuff. So that's pain in the butt. But as long as your plants are fairly similar, you shouldn't have any issue really. Maybe if you something that kind of grows like runted, doesn't really grow well, you should probably yank that out to begin with. So sometimes you find some special stuff in those runts. That's the thing. It's hard. So you look at it, it's in the middle of a pot, and everything else it's going to be dwarfed, and you're like, oh man, it's a waste of time in this little pot.
It really depends on what you're looking for, right? Because the runts, they're obviously not going to be the progenitor of some gigantic new line that's going to take over the world with absolute volume, right? But you can find some absolute spectacular flavors and experiences and everything else. A lot of times because it's been widely speculated, I don't know if it's true or not, I don't know if we'll ever know, but it's been widely speculated that the drug type cannabis is basically it's obviously the less common type, but it's the outlier. So essentially the non-drug type cannabis, the fiber type, the obviously terpene producing, but essentially not psychoactive necessarily cannabis, that's the predominant cannabis. It seems like that was the natural one. And the drug type is the variant that splits off, basically. It's essentially the mutant, basically. Well, cannabis oftentimes reverts to the hempiness, basically, if it has a chance. So how am I trying to say? That kind of mutation, a paradigm of the drug type cannabis, I think leads to and I'm hypothesizing here a little bit. This is me kind of thinking out loud. This is not necessarily the gospel truth according to Hoyle. How did Samuel Jackson say it? How do I put it? That the mutant plants, when you select, let's say, for example, a bunch of plants, the ones that are the weirdest oftentimes have the best highs. Somehow that drug type, I guess what I'm trying to say is the drug type cannabis, especially the drug type that hits you the hardest, is almost always the weirdest, wildest, lankiest, goofiest, strangest varietal of the bunch, and the most stable I find is usually the most kind of hemp type. I don't know. Am I way off, North Star? I'm not sure if your picture froze or if you're just very intent.
Oh,
we might have lost him. He was so intent that he froze.
Oh. I'm still here. Don't worry.
Zombie says, taste the motherfucking rainbow, motherfuckers. Al Telescope Uranus was saying, cedar is the sassy wood. Like, not today. Not today. What is that from? Martial artist says, I've got mycelium under my nails and chocolate on my hands. That's a good way to do it.
Lick.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
I guess we were both getting to some of the runts. I've famously said from North Star, actually, my Bedrock Boogie, it came from him. The runt of the litter was, I also really liked the non-runt of the litter, the biggest, basically, number one. Again, number one and number two. The number one was the sour strawberry leaner. That was the mom of Silago the Bad. And number two was that sour, sweet strawberry cheese kush, basically. It was like strawberry cheesecake. It had no bitterness, no sourness, nothing. It was absolutely like sweet strawberries and cheesy gas. Like imagine like a gassy cheesecake or something. It was absolutely scrumptious with this absolutely beautiful, beautiful, just pleasant, cushy high, just like floating on a waterbed of hovercrafts or some shit. I don't even know, just the coolest, chillest time. Whereas the sour strawberry leaner was definitely more let's get going, a little bit ethereal, not paranoia or anything, but definitely like, all right, let's go have a party. And definitely like sour strawberry. Anyway, the number one big plant, right next to it, the number two was the runt. Basically, from the very beginning, I wasn't even sure if the seed would like toss its shell off. I don't remember now, but I might have like flicked the shell off because it wouldn't like finally toss the shell off. Then for the longest time, as a seedling, it was super small, and then basically, oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, 5x5.
For the longest time as a seedling, it grew super small, and even like just for the longest time. And I was we just lost our storm. I was oh, here he goes back.
No stuck on Mac.
That's
I blame it all on you. You know, there's the musical part of the show, folks.
Right.
Get that out of the way.
This is a multimedia presentation, ladies and gentlemen. We wine you, we dine you, we What's going on? Welcome back, North Star. You're sideways now, but that's okay. We can live.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
I had to get my phone, my computer. I guess my battery was just
fucking technology.
Yeah, attention to it, I guess.
Well, how do you feel about, without getting into politics, North Star? How do you feel the volatility of what's going on these days is going to affect growing? Is it not going to affect us? Is it going to affect us? Do you have a gut feeling, or we just plow ahead as if nothing's happening? What do you figure?
I don't see it affecting anything myself at this point. I don't even have much of an interest in going out in any kind of commercial markets as far as I see. So I'm just interested in growing for myself. So I think most people in general should just be concerned with growing for themselves, and it gets them not having to worry about all the bullshit in the markets. What they're going to have is your bud remediated? Is it really clean? Is nuked your bud? Is it 3 years old by now? It's been sitting around for so long. I mean, who knows? Some of the stuff is in the shops. So I think your best bet is just to grow your own. You know what you have.
Not only that, but kind of crazy stuff. I know I've had a lot of customers from Canada. In fact, we had a customer tester from Canada not too long ago in the chat. Do we have to charge them tariffs soon? I don't know. Like, are you going to start charging your customers tariffs from Canada and Mexico? I don't understand how this is going to work. Are we going to have any idea? You know, it makes me wonder, like, are you going to get in trouble for not charging the fucking tariff if you take like private order? Because sometimes the orders come in through your website. I don't know how your stuff works, but for me, sometimes it came in through a website. Sometimes it came through a direct invoice, whatever, right? Do you keep track of that? I didn't fucking know. I guess we don't know yet, right?
Or would that? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, there's already stuff now where other countries tariff our shit when it comes in. Like when I send stuff, depending on the country, sometimes they'll say, "Oh, they got to pay this tax up front," and literally, since I'll say wooden beads or something, and they want like a $200 tax and to send the beads into like a freaking Scotland, different random different countries in Europe sometimes, France sometimes. And the post office, like, this is a bunch of whatever. They just hit some buttons and it just goes away. So I don't know whether it gets there and the person in the post office, they make them pay it. I know, for instance, when I went and did a show in Amsterdam, we shipped over. We did I had a little pipe filler Happy Cheese. This is 20 some years ago, and you put rolled up hemp fibers into the mouthpiece for a filter on your glass pipe. We were over to Amsterdam to the Canvas Cup to sell this product. Well, on our shipping of our product over there, so we could have it at the booth, we put 1 gram bags of hemp filter material. Well, we had to pay $1 per bag tax, so they would not release our package out of the post office there. Just to get release it to us, as we're already paying a tax up front to get the product out of the post office from the customs. So it would be probably something to be held in the customs somewhere.
Yeah, that would, yeah.
It would impose the tax.
I mean, I've definitely, how do I put it? I wonder, I've definitely heard about some of the horror stories where some random country, I don't even know which country it would be, Sweden or somebody, has an import duty on, like you say, banana peels, and it's fucking 8,000% or something.
What you do is you fill out your customs form and you check the box gift.
Yeah.
And then you fill out your form and it's a gift, and you just undervalue some stuff and say it's worth $100 and it's a gift. There you go.
Yeah.
There's no duty.
A couple times I sent something and I was honest about the value. I think I can't remember, and it was literally like 25, $30, and the value was, I mean, the import duty was only a few dollars, but it caused a pain in the ass. I remember. I can't remember exactly why now. I even got one guy. He won a freebie in I won't say which country because then everyone will know who I'm talking about, to be honest. But somebody from a foreign country won a freebie and then returned it to me because he said the import duty was too much. But when it came back, it said the import duty was $2.50. It was €2.50. And I was like, that was too much for you. I sent you like a package of, I don't know, maybe like 100 seeds. I was like, you can't pay $2.50.
Wow.
Okay, fine.
Whatever. I got a question for you guys. Do you guys ever ship to Germany?
Mm-hmm.
Have you had trouble sending shit? Have you had trouble sending shit to Germany?
No.
So you get there's like this circle with a letter with two things sticking out of it, and if you don't have it, it gets shipped back or something. Trogi, I was watching.
Like, were you sending? I mean, like normal stuff, or were you sending like contraband or something?
No, normal stuff. Like I was watching Scammer Payback was talking about this earlier.
Yeah, never had a problem.
Having, just sending a Christmas card.
Yeah, never. No, German Post is one of the it's one of the oldest. It's one of the most like legit, you know. And probably a lot of people don't realize, but what is it called? DHL. That's German. Deutsche Haftung. It's like their UPS basically. It's one of the oldest delivery services. Yeah. There's a few other people don't realize that there's a few other international delivery services because obviously in the US we only usually have FedEx, UPS, Post Office, but then DHL is around. What's the other one? There's the Japan Post, I want to say, on the West Coast. There's a couple other ones. No, Germany is usually super not a problem to get stuff there, so that's weird that there is a problem now. Four Plants A won a $1,500 grow light, ended up paying hundreds in customs. Dang. I mean, I guess that I could buy that because it's like a valuable thing that the company doesn't want to lie about it for probably their own tax reasons and stuff and their own import-export reasons. So you're fucked, you know, $1,500, and then you're fucked too because it's like it probably doesn't even sell for $1,500, but the full retail.
Stuff can come in under a certain value, and even if it's a gift under a certain value, you're fine. But over a certain value, even if it's considered a gift, you're still going to end up paying a tax on it.
Yeah, and that's also a typical thing when people go visit their family in Europe or whatever. They have to make sure to be very, very careful if they're iPads and stuff. If they're like giving their iPads to their family, they have to like take the tag off so that it doesn't actually get taxed. Because like in Germany, you'll get taxed on like a new iPad or whatever. Yeah, they don't fuck around with that kind of stuff.
Where's that? Oh shit!
They try that kind of shit in California. You kidding me? I moved here, right? I moved here, and I had a RX-7 that I brought with me, and So I went to DMV. I'm like, all right, I want to, I want to register the car I have here. I go, what is it? I'm like, oh, it's the RX-7, blah, blah. What's the value? I go, yada, yada. Oh, yo, it's not tax. I said, no, I don't owe any tax for anything. I said, I bought this car like 5 years ago. I paid, and as a matter of fact, I didn't pay a tax then. I traded a car in, and the guy gave me $300 and this car for it. So I didn't even pay a tax then, and so I ain't paying a tax now. Oh, well, you can't just buy a car and ship it here. I said, no, I didn't ship it here. I drove the motherfucker here. I had it dropped off here. I said, if you want to, I'll send it back to New Jersey, leave it registered in New Jersey the whole time, because I still have a house there. They're like, what? I said, yes, I didn't buy it from New Jersey. I brought it from my house in New Jersey to my house in California. I'm not paying a tax to ship the car to myself. They gave me a big say. I said, let me talk to a manager. And but basically, I was like, either I'm going to come here and register the car, I'm not paying a tax, or I'm not going to register the car in California at all.
There's a lot of people that don't ever register their cars in California. Yeah, you see people for years with Massachusetts plates, whatever. And the enforcement is super low. The LAPD famously doesn't give a shit about your fucking plates or anything else. You're only ever going to have a problem if you're in a robbery, homicide, or something, and then they're going to take the plates.
It's a crock because my dad ended up moving here, right? And they got him for $700 for his pickup truck. I'm like, Dad, you bought that truck in West Virginia and you drove it here. You owned that truck for years. You don't owe California a sales tax on your truck because it's worth X amount of dollars. You don't live in California. You just didn't buy a truck from West Virginia and you're registering
California wants to be paid, that's for sure.
And they just
I see people from Nova Scotia come up here and they take forever to change their plates over. Years. 20.
Yeah, they don't really I mean, the law says that you're actually supposed to change the plates basically as soon as you move, and not even within 6 months, I think, like within a couple of months or something. But
Hey,
man, I've seen people fucking years. They basically never change their plates at all. And it's one of those things, like, especially if you have another address or something, you could always just say, like, oh, I'm just visiting, from wherever, right? So, I mean, I never changed my plates, to be honest. I guess I was always just visiting, theoretically. So, I guess I wasn't there long enough to be a problem, but I mean, like, theoretically, I was the same problem I'm talking about, to be perfectly honest with you. So, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, any final thoughts? Maybe we'll wrap it up here as my joint wraps up. I was super fascinated by that. I'm endlessly fascinated by these underground mycorrhizal networks. I mean, the mycorrhiza is obviously not as much of a facet of our cannabis lives, but it's definitely a part of our growing lives. I think cannabis people like to think that we're somehow separate. North Star knows that we're not separate, right? You got a fucking orchard in your backyard, right?
Kind of considering, I mean, I live out here where it's coastal redwoods. A lot of these trees I'm looking at are actually all clonal species. They come from the main tree chops that eat that so-called fairy ring. They're all clones of the same plant coming back up. You see, almost all the woods out here, they were at one time logged at some level to help build San Francisco. So almost all the trees I'm looking at are actually clones from over 100 years ago. Most all the redwoods that are out here growing now.
That's fascinating too. Martial artist is saying, especially if you're an outlaw, then you want plates that don't match your actual address. No, if you're an outlaw, then you have to have one of those plate changers. I've seen a couple of those. Have you ever seen those? I've actually seen them in LA a couple of times. They're heavily illegal, right? But it like turns the plate. The fuck? Can you imagine how much trouble you'd get caught in for fucking having that thing? Oh my God, they'd throw you under the jail. Whatever.
I seen do you guys remember the old slicks? The oil slicks? I seen a guy put attach he used pop Coca-Cola as the oil slick to show it, but he put an oil slick under his back of his bumper. So he flips a switch, and if he didn't pay for the cops, the oil comes out.
Oh, I gotcha.
Reminds me of the video game Spy Hunter from back in the day where you're driving the car.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes,
or fucking Mario Brothers or something. The Mario or Luigi, whoever throws the fucking oil behind you.
Mario Kart.
Bananas.
That's so Commodore 64.
Man, I wish I could throw
Spy Hunter. I had Commodore 64.
Wouldn't that be spectacular though if you could throw bananas out of your car like in Mario Kart? That would be amazing.
I seen a video of this guy. It was a joke, a funny video, but it was a guy in a pedal go-kart, and he was getting chased by a cop. And he had these big, huge pillow, like Mario, like they had the shell, he had the banana peel. You see the banana peel out the cop?
Oh, that's spectacular. Don't do that, ladies.
And the light
this is not legal advice. Don't throw stuffed animals at the cops during high-speed chases, or do. I mean, you never know what'll happen. Please don't. And if you do, especially don't tell him. I told you to do that. That would be spectacular, though. Can you imagine one of those fucking high-speed chases in LA or something, 100 mile an hour, and someone pulls out the window and they like throw it out, stuffed animal, Mario, turtle shit. You'd have to plan well ahead for that. I guess they'd get you for premeditation as well. Anyway. Ladies and gerbils, after this absurdity, maybe we'll call it and go on with our days. North Star, go for it. The floor is yours.
Yeah. February's upon us, peoples. Month down. We're already getting 2025. We are jamming on here. So get ready for the year. Get your plants ready. Get your selections done. You still need seeds. Check me out on geneticsupply.com. All kinds of good stuff, sales. North Star stuff and Gooey Breeder stuff are both buy two, get one free. And we have a coupon code LOVE for the month. You get 10% off and a bonus 10-pack.
Nice.
So go check it out.
Right on. Cheers. Good to see you, North Star.
Take care, everyone.
Later, North Star.
Later. Ladies and gentlemen, go for it, D.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to all the 23 people watching in the chat or lurking, chatting, or smoking a dab, smoking a joint, doing some work. I hope everyone has a great week. Don't forget to tune in Saturday for the Takeover show, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, or 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, with the pre-show on my channel, DZombie_745. I do the pre-show before the takeover. Later, and thank you to Fumi as always for putting this together, buddy.
Welcome. Cheers, cheersy. Ladies and gentlemen, remember we don't take sponsorships on this show from anyone, including friends of the show. So even though we often hear about wonderful deals, it's not like I'm getting a cut for them from that or something. So don't assume that I'm. Excuse me. Pardon me for burping in the fucking camera or the fucking microphone. But yeah, please don't assume that I'm making any money off of those advertisements. Ladies and gentlemen, do assume though, hopefully I will be bringing back my own seeds soon. I would be making money off of that, hopefully, if you actually buy some. But please stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because it's just been lunacy in my life, one thing after another. It has to, by the laws of fucking physics and entropy and shit and thermodynamics. You'd assume that shit has to calm down shortly, so we'll give it a couple more days and then we'll we'll reevaluate. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, or Digital Litter, sometimes we're called. Hope you guys join us again. D, are we on for Takeover on Saturday?
Yes, sir.
It's crazy how this month has just absolutely flown by. Now we're in February, and it's the first February Takeover. Lunacy. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let life zip back past you or something. We'll all be freaking 100 years old before we know it. Ladies and gentlemen, see you guys on Saturday, I guess. And hopefully next Tuesday's show will be a little bit easier for me to do. And maybe in the eventual future, I'll start bringing back guests. I can't promise one for Tuesday because I think that's too short notice. But hopefully in the near future, we'll start taking things a little bit more seriously. Hopefully doing a little bit more kinds of content. So we'll see, honestly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us, and until we meet again, my friends, be kind, be decent, be gentle, be fucking pricks, dicks, or lunatics. I guess I should shout my friends out. Patricia Walker, Justin Bean, martial artist, who else is hanging with us? Four Plants, always good to see you, buddy. Al Telescope Uranus, hilarious fucking name, of course. D Zombie, obviously keeping the chat nice and tidy. Who else is with us here that I'm sure I'm missing? There's always somebody. Did I say Patricia? I think I did. Organic, I think, is back at work. Anyway, folks, you know who you are at this point. Lurkers, non-lurkers, all of you, my friends, don't forget to say something in the chat next time. Makes it a lot easier to shout you out. But until then, feel yourself shouted out, because why not, honestly, right? It's a little thing, ladies and gentlemen. Until we meet again,